What will English sound like in the future? Before we can start predicting how it will sound, we need to look a little bit further back and look at the origins of English. English stemmed from the Germanic language tribe, which is the same as the Danish and Norwegian language, and the German, of course. Um, the English language is actually called Anglo-Frisian or Anglo-Saxon. Anglo stems from Indo-European languages that comes from the Germanic language tribe, and Saxon or Frisian is the same as current day Dutch. We need to look a bit about we need to look into how the English language was formed and how it has transformed to visualize and try to predict some patterns that may lead us to a conclusion to this question. What did previous English actually sound like? Well, like many other people, I've actually pondered about traveling back in time and visiting some time and place in England in maybe medieval times, seeing an actual king. But the problem is that the further you go back, the more unintelligible their language becomes. You can travel around 300, maybe 400 years back and still understand what they say, but if you push it further, it will become completely unintelligible. My product is a bunch of audio files from different eras in England and the language that was actually spoken there, so you can actually get a feeling for how it actually sounded. If you go back to the 1600, it will be the Shakespeare era. You'll still kind of understand, but there are slang words you will have trouble with and aren't relevant to current day. If you go to the 1300, you go to the Middle English, you will hear Middle English. Here, they speak more like the Bible, and it's quite hard to understand what they're actually saying. A few words may pop out, but other than that, you won't get anything out of it. If you go over to Old English, that is the same era. That's the same era as when the Vikings plundered around Europe. And here you will hear a few Danish words or Icelandic words, but you won't hear anything even remotely close to the current day English. So what has changed? Well, in the 1400s, the Great Vowel Change began, and it was simply to change all the vowels and some consonants, how they actually sound and how they were to be pronounced. For example, the word gone was pronounced gone, and the word bite was actually pronounced beat. It also introduced silent letters like the P in psychology. So now another trend that also is that words have been shortened. A good example, more modern day for us, is actually America. If you compare American English to British English, you will see quite a lot more differences, especially how they usually shorten words to make it easier to tell.